We're shooting the breeze with our very own Josephine Stec, and she's got a lot on her mind. And Biden, tread lightly. Let's talk about it. And we are here with Josephine Stec today, one of our favorites whenever we're coming here, shooting the breeze here. She attended a very exciting political event over the weekend, and we wanted her to return to the show to come in and give us all of the scoop as to what happened over the weekend in the wonderful world of Josie Stec. Hey, why don't we just go ahead and welcome Josephine Stec to the show. Hey, Josie, you are live. How are you this afternoon?
Oh, I'm well, Reggie. You crack me up.
Well, I am so excited with having you here on today. And we were on the band the other day, and you just created a lot of excitement. And I believe you were leading prayer at some type of event that you attended over the weekend. And I just want all of the scoop. What event was it? Why were you there? And what was going on politically?
Well, like many of us, I'm on many different forums, and it's hard to keep them all straight. But one of the forums I'm on is on Facebook, and I confess that I do use Facebook. And when I say use Facebook, I use Facebook to my advantage, not theirs. So unfortunately, that is the best way to get information out to many people.
Oh, of course. And many of us, we cannot exclude Facebook because that is where your audience is. We have to continue to promote there and get the word out there. A lot of folks are not fasting away from Facebook. So this is the reality in which we live in. So, hey, that's a really great idea to keep it going, get the word out. This is how we make things happen.
Well, I look forward to the day when we can put all these big media texts under. I truly would much rather use other platforms, right, but they have not taken off like Facebook. So unfortunately, we kind of are there. So one of the platforms I'm on is We the People of Harford County, and an Evite popped up about an event they were having in downtown Bel Air. As actually a matter of fact, it was a worldwide event. There just happened to be one of the events was taking place in Bel Air. Many of them were taking place, in Belgium. I saw one where people had flooded the streets. So our Bel Air contingency was small. I'd probably say 100-ish people were there.
Oh, really? That's not small at all.
Well, when you consider the size of the county, but it's okay. People have lives, and on Saturday afternoon at 3:00, it's not easy to attend some of these things.
Yeah, and it's the summertime. We're getting into the summertime. It's spring. The weather is turning over now, so, it's going to be hard to get people out to start participating because they're enjoying their families and the great weather now.
Right. But the people who are called We the People, the lady's name who organized it is Lisa, and her last name escapes me at the moment, but she organized an event. I think the idea of this event really was just to get people excited that we were tired of being constrained and we want our freedoms back. Now, coincidentally, the governor rescinded the mask edict on Friday night. And of course, it's kind of been trickling down a little bit at a time.
Right.
So, but this worldwide rally was already planned, and people were gathered and, wanted their voices heard, but mostly it was just let's celebrate, let's be Americans. We sang some, patriotic songs. We did have some delegates and political figures who spoke. That didn't always go well with some members of the crowd, because we do know that politicians can often act like politicians and forget that they are also citizens and representing citizens. And Many politicians have their own interests at stake. State Delegate Metzer did come back from vacation. He had been somewhere, but when he heard of this, he changed his plans and came. And I really appreciate that, because even as he calls himself an elected official. He says, I do not like the word politician. He said, I am an elected official because I am elected by the people to serve the people. And he actually led a beautiful prayer towards the end of the gathering, and just reminded us that it's God first, country second. I might actually kind of slip in family above country, but I appreciate where he was. But we need to recognize that God is leading us, and we need to always look up, and we need to always, remember that that's what's guiding us, not anything.
And it's important that you say that, because oftentimes we verbally say that, but actually when we should put that into action, sometimes we are a little lacking in that area.
Yes. Oh yes, absolutely. We're all sinners and we all fall short. There was a lady and I'm sorry, I should have written down all these names, but she has been instrumental in going around the country, and actually in some other countries. If you ever heard of Brandon Strata with
Walk Away? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's one of the ladies who has been with him. When Brandon had a rally in Baltimore, I went to that, and she was there, and she was representing a different voice that really needs to be supported and heard right now, and that is our Jewish brethren, because Israel is being attacked right now. And as Christians or as citizens of the world, we should be concerned when any country is falsely and terribly attacked, especially innocent citizens. So, she was definitely, asking for our prayers and our help, but also just because of the worldwide freedom, she was also there. But I think that struck a chord with many people because of what's currently happening in the Middle East.
Now, a couple months ago, we were not dealing with this here issue in the Middle East. What all of a sudden happened? Is it the changing of the guard?
Well, I think that it's just incredible that our 45th president managed to be one of the few presidents in the 20th century who did not pull the trigger and start a new war.
Right, exactly. We enjoyed peace. It was peace. But what they did here at home, they created chaos,
Correct. And around the world.
Yeah.
The media has done such a good job in making Trump the bad guy.
Right.
When in fact, if anybody should win the Nobel Peace Prize, it should be Trump.
Right.
He instigated peace in the Middle East. He also, made strides in North Korea. Do we always like the rhetoric and the way he does it? No.
Well, outside of the rhetoric and concentrated on the job at hand and what was actually done, you gotta look at what was done and not what came out of his mouth or his tweet. You gotta separate. And I'm pretty sure people can possibly see a great contrast now. Gas prices. So.
What's really surprised me when I'm talking to people now is the number of people who obviously voted for Biden, who this is what they'll say: I thought he was going to be such a nice guy. So
he's gonna be such a nice guy. So what does that have to do with your I mean, honestly, I think he is a nice guy, but when it comes down to decisions and policies, that's a whole different story. His niceness has nothing to do with it.
Correct. We are not, electing officials because of their personalities. We are electing officials to get the job done.
Yeah, to do a job. Do a job for the American people.
Well, I will say this. Biden is definitely doing a job.
Yeah, a poor job.
A very poor job.
Yes.
What has he done these past, little over 5 or 4 months? I think it's horrendous what he's done to this country already. I can't think of one thing that he has done to unify us, which is what he ran on, Mr. Nice Guy. He has done more to disunify this country, and it greatly saddens me. But back to this little, rally. We did have several speakers. It was mostly a patriotic event. There was one gentleman who got up and spoke, and I don't know if you can see my T-shirt, what it says.
Okay, we the people of Harford County. That's the only part I can see. Okay. Are pissed off. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So, he was very gracious and read a little speech, but he had his two daughters with him, and he said, I can't say these words, and he was very cognizant of his children, but he's like, we need to fight for these kids. I mean, the horribleness of what has gone on with this scamdemic.
Oh yeah. Let's dig into this here. All of a sudden, people who have been vaccinated, they can remove the mask. What was that all about? Now, I know the gas prices were spinning out of control, and all of a sudden, we get the news from the CDC. Okay, if you've been vaccinated, you can, go back to life as usual. What the heck is that all about?
But the interesting thing is they put a star on us because we're the unvaccinated.
And you're gonna pay a great price, as stated by 46, should I say.
Well, he's not 46 because he's not the president. Sorry.
All right. Well,
illicitly inaugurated from a stolen election.
Exactly, of course.
But
okay, did we lose you?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to, my daughter.
Okay.
Video call. Bad time to have a video call.
Okay. It's okay. We can edit that part out. This is the great thing about recording shows prior to airing. So this is great.
But I forgot where we were.
Yeah, we were talking about, a stolen election for
stolen election.
Yeah. 46. You don't identify him as 46.
No. Oh no, he's not the president at all. I do not even refer to him as president. I usually refer to him.
Okay, it looks like we're having some problems with Josie's connection there, and hopefully we'll try and get her back here momentarily. And as soon as she gets back on the line, I think we have her back. Okay, Josie. Right. Yeah.
The perils of communication.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, things happen. They do happen, but the show must go on in spite of that. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the border crisis that we are facing, where I don't see a lot of media cameras down there at all. So, and Kamala Harris is supposed to be the czar for the border crisis that's going on. But
I'll tell you who's there. My nephew.
Okay. What can you tell us?
My nephew. I don't know anything. We're not allowed to know anything. I'm not even going to really reveal his position or his job. But it strikes home when your own family is down there.
Right.
The border is out of control. No, I don't think there is an American on this continent who has a problem with immigration as long as it is done legally and safely. The hypocrites in Washington have no problem with people flooding the borders, not checking their temperature, are they? Not checking their COVID status, but yet I can barely walk into a grocery store. So they're hypocrites, because all they're looking for, they're pandering to votes.
And then they're going to tell us, then the president is going to tell us that we are going to pay a price. Is this some type of threat? Is this a threat?
Absolutely.
But you got people's lined up here at the border. They're not getting checked. Just come on in. The floodgates are open. Hey, we welcome you with open arms, with COVID or without COVID. Just come on in.
You know what I think? This is my little Josie prediction. I think they're giving us a peanut by telling us we can take off the mask. They want us to have our guard down. Yeah. Because they're going to try something. I think they're honestly going to implement real serious restrictions very soon.
And I think where what the American people, what we allowed for the government to go just too far in this pandemic and the length of it. It's that was just too far. If they can get, that much leadway with us, imagine what they're going to try and do next. And I really just don't think the American people are, really woke at the power that they are giving the government. They're asleep, and they gotta wake up, because it's going to get worse.
Oh, they're going to wake up. They're going to wake up.
I surely hope so, because I don't have any faith. I'm in doubt because, they're getting their stimulus checks now. Well, pay them to agree with you. And a lot of folks, they're just not, engrafted into politics. As long as things appear to be going the way that they like, sometimes what they intend to do is just go along to get along. But I really hope, because inflation is going up, folks are seeing these types of things in place. So hopefully there's a turning of the tides here sooner, better than later.
Yes. My husband was recently Home Depot, and he ran into a contractor, and they got into a conversation. The guy said that the average price for the houses that he is building has gone up $45,000 just for the lumber. And he said it's not a shortage of lumber, but it's the cost, and that's just his cost. So imagine what he is now passing on to the consumer. Look at these people who are now buying houses, building houses. Mm-hmm. I know someone who recently is contracted to build a $400,000 house. The land was free because it was given to them by her parents. So this is a nice house. Mm. The builder came back and said it's going to now be $600,000.
Whoa, man!
That's a 50%.
That's a big jump. That is a wow. What the heck is going on here?
So what are these people to do?
Yeah.
Imagine the debt. So we're going to have a collapsed economy once again, and it's going to be nothing but impoverished citizens. But they're going to, the government is going to quote bail them out.
Well, it looks like Carter all over again here.
Oh, no, it looks more like the Bolsheviks in Russia. It's not going to work.
You're going to go that far, Josie?
Well, when they tell me that vaccinated people can live the way they want to, but I have to go around doing something different because I'm unvaccinated, that is no different than what happened during the Holocaust. I mean, obviously 6 million people were, eradicated. Right. Yeah. But we don't know that that's not coming. We have no idea what's coming. Yeah. But the parallel is the same. You're treating one segment of the population differently than the other. I mean, you can compare it to racism. There was times where we, treated Blacks or Asians or women or, immigrants in a lower category. So the parallels are the same, and it's wrong. So, yeah, I do believe it's going to get worse, and people do need to wake up. But we have to be brave. We have to stand up. We have to do whatever we can to fight. And, that's one of the reasons I'm a staunch advocate for. I've been boycotting for years. Years. Now, I have to say that I don't send out a lot of letters. I don't necessarily make a lot of phone calls, but I don't give these companies a dime of my money.
So you're true to the cause. You're absolutely true to the cause.
Listen, there is nothing I like more than going to the theater. I haven't been to the theater in so long.
Right.
I will not give Hollywood a dime of my money. Now, there are some Christian movies I'd like to see. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? There's you can get them through other avenues, and we do. So I will just not. There's many organizations, businesses where we do not patronize because of business practices or because of the causes that they support.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, I know on our band app, someone put out like a list of companies and, to stay away. Was that you? That was Josie.
Yeah, I got elected by Diane to do this. So every day I try to post a little bit about, reminding people, because it is hard. It's hard to go to the grocery store and I can't buy that. I can't buy this. I can't buy that. But But truly, if you stay away from most of those products, you're buying healthier products anyway. Stay away from the center of the aisle. Don't buy those processed things. Buy fresh food. Buy, as much stuff. Learn to bake your own bread. Do these things that are better for your family in the first place.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. We as we move throughout the year, we'll see how things begin to unfold with this new administration. I was kind of hoping, and I'm pretty sure it's already like that because I heard that the Biden administration were possibly trying to complete a certain section of the border wall since things were spinning out of control. And sometimes I'm thinking to myself what extent these people will go to not to be concede to President Trump that he was right and your policies are wrong. The extent we cannot, they just won't concede that. And here's another thing that I always say, I don't understand. Even that's what both sides of an administration, let's adopt things that work, and keep things that work. But if they don't work, I can understand, we're making some type of adjustments, but the tit for tat, it's really not great or good for the American people, and all these executive orders that he signed, on his first week in office, it was freaking ridiculous,
A house divided will not stand.
Right. Yeah.
And we are so polarized.
Mm-hmm.
You see people, posting things about if you don't get vaccinated, you're part of the problem. I'm not afraid.
Right. Exactly. Right.
So why chastise? And that's bullying. Aren't we against bullying? Aren't we against that? If you want to encourage people, how about saying, loved ones, I care for you and I want you to get vaccinated because I care for your health. No, that's not what they say. They bully you. But then they'll turn around and say, well, bullying's bad.
Well, they want to bully you in submission. You've got to submit. That's what this is all about. You've got to submit.
Absolutely.
This
old girl ain't gonna submit.
You ain't gonna submit. We're gonna put up a fight. Yes.
I have drawn the line in my sand for certain things, and I'm telling you, I will not cross it. We have recently found a new church to go to because our church is not shepherding us.
Really?
Yep. We're definitely making some changes,
some adjustments, right? Yeah.
We've planted a garden. My husband for years has said, I don't want to take care of a garden. Well, guess who put a garden in the backyard this year?
So he finally got around to putting the garden in the backyard.
So he sees what could happen.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes we have to be pushed into the corner to know that an adjustment needs to be made. Sometimes life is just like that at times. So, I don't know.
And we're going to have to make some very tough decisions, but I think they're throwing us a donut.
Really?
I think they are. I really think they're trying to take our focus away. And that's where more than ever, we need to be focused.
Yeah, but this is the thing that makes me so, worried about it's like the American people, they're very gullible. They're so easy to get over on. And these folks, they know that, and how soon we forget about yesterday. And
that's because the devil's in the details.
Right.
And the devil is got his hands in all this. And
most definitely. Yeah.
Because, my little joke is when Catholic priests start talking about the end times, we in it.
Yeah, we're in big trouble. And guess what? I was listening to this pastor who I listen to often. He was stating that his other pastor friend was telling him that the way things are going, what they are going to try and start moving towards is trying to get them out of, the place where they can use commerce, where they can't do these transactions online because of their message is contradictory of where they're trying to go, and their policies and really the kingdom that Satan wishes to set up. I'm just going to put it like that. So you're not included. So we need you off the grid. So I think when I heard that, I was like, wow. He said we're within 2 years from stumbling up on them trying to put folks who are trying to get the message of Jesus Christ out,
Absolutely.
where they can't do commerce.
Yes. I recently read a book about World War II and a missionary he was a Dutch missionary, and he was actually like a very kind of lukewarm Christian, and he became a zealot, and he actually spent pretty much the rest of his life going behind the Iron Curtain into communist countries. And the depravity of the faith there was amazing. And the miracles that happened with him, and God was working with him. But we have to remember, if I were you, I would find a Bible and I would hide it somewhere where nobody can find it.
Wow.
The days are going to come. I truly believe the days are going to come where
Well, this is why the Word of God tells us that, it needs to be written on the table of our hearts, because when they take that book away from you, you won't be able to go to that book to refer to. That's why the Word of God, the Scripture, it needs to be on the inside of you, written on the tables of your heart. So this is why we go to church. This is why we have to remember what is written. Because the day shall come and they're going to do exactly what you've mentioned here about, no more Bibles. Let's take them. I think a few years ago, I think they had some type of bill in place to try and do something like that in California. I kind of heard that kind of in passing. I don't know how true it is. But I was like, wow, these guys are really off their rockers. Where are we headed here with all of this? And this is what everything is all about, take moral order off the table. We're going to do what we want, do what we feel. And it just really leads, and my only really care that I have, it just leads people to destruction. That's the problem that I have with this, destruction.
Absolutely. People just don't see it.
Right.
They're beginning to be indoctrinated into, well, God is so self-righteous, and God is
He's the oppressor. He's the oppressor. But let me
Right.
and I learned this here over the last couple days, that God does not need you. You need Him. You got to always, because see, one thing about man that I've noticed, and I learned this other thing too, because a lot of people try and discount the Bible and the Word of God, and they do these things not knowing what they're really doing. It is for our good. It is for our safety. It's for that Ark of the Covenant, that covenant place where we need to be. But a lot of folks, they try and discount the Word of God and the ways of God and the statutes of God. So what intends to happen, I've learned over the last couple of days is, when they try and discount, this Bible, and it was written from some European people, and they just say all kind of crazy stuff that wanted to control the masses this way or whatever have you. So I learned that what man would even write, different scriptures where you can, about one wife, thou shalt not commit adultery. Now, if it was a man's, position to, okay, I'm going to write the Bible as inspired by God, there's going to be some, some self-desires and lust up in there, so they try and discount the Bible and the Word of God, but it's the very thing that keeps us with that moral order that we need. It grounds us. It's for our own safety. It's for our safety. So you don't want God, you're lost. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to be you're lost, pretty much so. And I always equate things to, nowadays, information technology here. We're full of technology. We have education is through the roof. We have so many books. We have so many things to choose from. So that knowledge have exalted itself over the Word of God. And now I don't need God. I got this myself. This is where we are.
we're making gods of ourselves.
Exactly. Right.
Of knowledge.
Right.
But that's the thing people fail to realize, is that in some way we're all worshiping something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You're literally worshiping God, or you're worshiping what you think is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You think, but it gets very convoluted. So people are always worshiping something, but the worship takes different forms.
Yes, it really does. And you know, it dawned on me a couple years ago about NFL Sunday, and then we had NFL Monday, then we got NFL Thursday, and it dawned on me because I was like, man, I can't wait to Sunday. You know, the games are going to be coming on. Designed to really pull you away from, you know, being a participant of church on Sundays or whatever. I really don't want to go to church now. The game is coming on. Now they got the pre-show. Oh my God, I can't miss that or whatever have you. So, you know, God allowed for me to see this is idolatry. Whether you know it or not, it's idolatry.
Well, like I said, we recently switched churches, and I'm Catholic, and it's very common for a Catholic church to have what they call the Saturday Vigil Evening Mass. So that, you know, if you've got something to do on Sunday, or you work on Sunday, or you can't make church on Sunday,
of course,
you have this choice. This church does not offer that. You are to be in church on Sunday morning.
Wow. Yeah.
And, you know, several years ago, almost 8 years, I was in a situation where I needed to switch jobs, and I started praying that the Lord would bring me to a new job. And one of the things I asked is to have a job where I did not have to work on Sundays.
Right.
I'm trained in retail. You know, I've never used my degree. I've worked in retail. What retail store do you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I work for the one retail store that's closed on Sundays.
Oh, really?
I do.
Oh.
So God answered my prayer.
Oh my God, that's great.
But my husband and I, we really try. We do not use commerce. I've told you before, I've started a new business, and Sunday's my one day off.
Right. Yeah.
Pounds my business.
Right.
I try very hard not to do anything with my business related, because that is the day to honor the Lord. Now, yes, I might go out into the yard and work in the garden, but that is provided for my family, and I don't consider that work. It's kind of outside. So, you know, we really try. We don't go to the grocery store. We every now and then we'll go out to lunch with a friend or something, because that's our only opportunity.
Right.
But we try not to do anything. We try not to spend any money on Sundays. We would really try to honor that.
Well, you know, back in the olden days, that's exactly how it was. You know, there were things that wasn't open on Sundays, and now they're trying to, even on Thanksgiving, well, let's open up retail now, you know, take you away from your family. The world has changed. Yes.
You can make choice.
Yes, exactly. You can. You know,
if every person in this country who claims to be a Christian stop commerce on Sunday, these businesses would shut their doors on Sundays because they wouldn't be making money.
Absolutely. You're so right about that. You're so right about that.
I mean, a prime example is Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I mean, that place.
Know, when they first started, they were only in malls, and they paid a penalty to be closed on Sundays.
Right.
For years, they paid a penalty, because when you have a business in a mall, part of your contract is you have to be open 7 days a week.
Right, exactly.
They said, we will not do that. But the malls wanted their business because it's so darn good.
Oh yeah, they're jumping around the clock, and I am a frequent visitor to Chick-fil-A, so I love them. That's the only fast food restaurant I go to. So
we hardly ever eat fast food, but I mean, if we need to, that would be one of our choices, because you know we do appreciate their values.
Exactly.
Good food.
Yeah. They always treat you with dignity and respect, and
absolutely.
And their tagline when you're going through the drive-through or whatever have you say thank you. My pleasure. I just love it. Just so polite. You know, I was like, man,
Oh, their
just,
stores are always clean.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. They are. They're well kept. So I can really appreciate that.
Staffed. So, God has blessed that business.
Yeah, he really has. He really has. And a lot of folks like, why is the line always wrapped around the building? Look at their business model. You might want to check that out,
I think being closed on Sunday was huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
Yeah. But I think it pays off through, the other 6 days of the week, which is always a plus. And I think they get their market share, more. I mean, it's like that everywhere, no matter where you live. Chick-fil-A, they're always, like really jumping all the time. So the competition that they had with Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, no. I've never seen the line wrapped around Popeyes, when they had the Chick-fil-A sandwich against the Popeye chicken sandwich. And I was like, I never seen a line like that at a Popeyes.
No, I've never.
Yeah.
I've never. So, we are being put to the test.
Yeah.
And the test has begun. And, I, for one, will not get that vaccine. I'll tell you a little side story. My husband and I are custodians of his sister who has Down syndrome. She's 62 years old and she's now got Alzheimer's. She's got, a fair number of health issues. Well, they want her center to reopen under the provision that she gets the vaccine. This vaccine has not been tested on people like Kathy.
Wow.
So
this is
you want us to put our loved one as a part of a global experiment? Not even to mention the moral complications of this vaccine with the ingredients that have gone in it.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not going to put her as part of a global experiment and see what happens to her. No.
Wow, man. Well, I tell you, we're just going to have to keep our eyes open, make sure we're walking in the leading of God's will with all of this. And just, and I know God, he's going to be faithful and true to those who are his children. So I think when we roll everything up in a nutshell, our job is to do what he has commanded us to do. Because like I always say, the world they're going to do what they're going to do. They're not going to change. Nothing new under the sun. They've been doing this here since the beginning of time. So there's nothing new under the sun. We just have to continue walking in the statutes and obedience of God. As long as we're doing that, we are on our mission. We're doing what we're supposed to do. We're the salt of the earth. So as long as we continue doing that, I think we are going to be just fine. We'll be fine. Because the country, it is changing. They are changing things. And we understand that Satan, the devil, he's the God of this world. So we're in his domain trying to make that change. But we are life changers. So as long as we continue moving in that, I think God will be very pleased. So once we meet him, he'll be able to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. So that's what I want to make sure.
Reggie,
yeah.
We are common people doing
uncommon things. Yeah. Okay, that's Josie. I want to thank you for dropping by with us, sharing your intellect and always, having some great conversation. Come by, be with us at any time. You're always welcome.
Pleasure.
And we understand that this was an impromptu video that we had to put together here. I just caught you right off of the weekend. I just wanted to get you in and talk about the great event that you attended. You were so hyped, so excited about it. So we are quite pleased with what you're doing. Continue doing what you're doing, and it all helps make a difference. All right?
Thank you, Reggie. I do want to just make sure you understand that I was not part of that program.
Okay.
When it ended, actually, I kind of begged the lady to get up there and say my little spiel.
Oh, really?
On my part. I was not part of this program, but I thought I felt like there wasn't a direction, like there wasn't things, and some things were on my heart, and so I said I want to get up there and say it, and she did. She let me. She wasn't real pleased,
and it all worked out. It all worked out, and I think that's our biggest problem on the right now is direction. All right, what direction? Because I think we're kind of like all over the place. It has not been simplified yet. I mean, we've just come up out of a hard-fought election, stolen election, so trying to regroup from something that, we've got this in the bag. Trump got this all the way. It's in no way possible someone who campaigns in their basement is going to be president of the United States, who can't string a sentence together. That was no way. So I think it's going to take some time. We're moving close to the midterms. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how we approach that and what's going to happen with that, because Nancy Pelosi, she is quite confident that they are going to hold the House. And if I look at us, I know walk by faith and not by sight, but when I look at us, I was like, okay, which way are we moving? It doesn't have a face. It doesn't have any type of direction. So I can understand you being moved. I got to say something. I believe you were inspired to say something. It seemed like no direction. And I get it. And you're quite right about that. But I'm pretty sure we will get there. And I've got my eyes on Governor Ron DeSantis out of Florida for a possible candidate for president. I mean, man, if you want the flip side of Donald Trump, he is the man. I'm telling you, hear me when I tell you this. I've watched him. I know him. I know his style. I know his approach. He knows politics. He knows the talk. And he has our agenda at heart. He's gotta.
And there's a couple other people that if they're not going to run for president, if Trump is not, at least pick them for vice president.
Right.
That would be Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Candace Owens. I just love her.
Well, who don't love Candace Owens? But I don't think I think the left would eat her up. They would play a lot of her videotapes and her inflammatory statement she's made. We love her. She's our darling, but this is what I think Candace Owens should do. What I would advise Candace Owens to run for a House seat. She can be the opposing voice to AOC. Okay, get some experience under your belt and then launch from there for president. I think that would be the best way forward for Candace. But I love her. That sister, she don't play with you, and she's not cutting any corners with you either. She's gonna tell you like it ITIS is. That's what Candace is going to do, and you gotta have on your big boy pants in order to step to that girl. That lady doesn't play, and I appreciate voices like her. She has
converted a lot of people because of her straightforward rhetoric.
Yeah.
But, Lieutenant, Colonel Alan West is just a voice of such reason.
Yeah, he has reason. But see, since our politics is so polarized, Alan West, I don't think he would bring the type of thunder and interest where it will get people who's not really politically, inclined or, tuned in. He won't get their attention. But I love Alan West. I mean, he's a great candidate, or maybe vice president. Yeah, I mean, great.
I think vice president. Vice
I mean, I would say vice, but far as at the top of the ticket, he's very. He's well mannered. He's well mannered.
I think a vice president.
Yeah, I believe I'm with that 100%. But outside of that, I don't know who else. I don't. We can't go back to the way things used to be. I don't want the old Republican Party, the establishment. Liz Cheney was thrown out of her seat. So I'm happy with that. She's not too happy about it. Because she represents the old oligarch. And we don't need. Trump came and changed the entire face. And when my mind go back and I look at and I think about the Republican convention, Oh my God. Oh, I was like, that's the America I know, you know?
All faces, we need to understand whether you're left, right, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican. If we can come to the center, we'll find some answers. You're not going to find it out here.
No.
Towards the center. We've got to be more grounded, more common sense, and there's got to be some give and take on both sides.
Yeah.
Be centered. That's unity, and that is not what's in Washington right now.
Right. You're absolutely right about that. We've got to come to the center and those things that we agree upon, let's do those things together. Yeah. Let's do that,
Find some common ground. Absolutely. Because a house divided will not stand.
It will not stand. Indeed, it will not. Well, Josie, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you for coming on, being with us on today. And hopefully we can do this again when something else jumps off. You just come on and we can shoot the breeze here and, keep people engaged until the next election. That's what we do, keeping folks engaged. Common people doing uncommon things together. All right. Take care, Josie.
I love to breeze with you, Reggie. You're awesome. You are absolutely awesome.
And there you have Josephine Stec. I tell you, it's always a treat when she stopped by. Hey, she always have a mouthful for you. Hey, I want to thank you for watching. Stay tuned in for more political commentary and content here on our BAN app. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe by ticking the bell to get all of our notifications. So I am Reggie Skyrock. I got to get out of here. All right. Be sure you stay true to yourself because it will allow for you to be true to God, where all things are possible. Thank you so much for watching.